Hey, what's up? It's that Weekend Warrior. One of my favorite things to collect is VHS, and you're probably wondering why that physical media when there's so many other options such as Blu-ray, DVD, 4K, and so on. And it really boils down to the nostalgia. My wife and I are big fans of the media. We really enjoy going to thrift stores, flea markets, antique malls, and every time we're rummaging through any cabinets or bins, we find something we like, we immediately hold it up, and then we share a story. So it's something that we do as a couple. We really enjoy it. Also, if you're looking for a hobby, it's not an expensive one. Most of the VHS I've found are $2 to $10. So it's a lot of fun to collect. Also, there's some movies, in my opinion, that should only be watched on VHS. And I'd like to share some of my pickups I've gotten over the last year. One of my favorite movies of all time, and I'm very happy that I found a good copy of this on VHS, is Stand By Me. I saw this movie probably when I was 9 or 10 years old, and it had a lasting impact on me. The four friends going on an adventure and growing together and dealing with adversity, and also the 50s pop music, the greasers, the bullies. It's just an adventurous movie that I really latched onto. Also, one thing I learned is don't go near junkyards.
Sick 'em, boy! Now he said sick 'em, boy. But what I heard was chopper sick balls.
If you're a child of the 80s, chances are you saw this movie in the theater, and possibly multiple times like me, and that's Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. This movie's epic. Have you watched it recently? It still holds up in my opinion. Very adventurous, the fight sequences are awesome, and then the score is incredible. And then let's not forget the epic Bryan Adams pop song that every radio station, every hour was playing that. Lastly, Alan Rickman's performance of the Sheriff of Nottingham is amazing. It's completely insane and unhinged.
Loxley! I'm gonna cut your heart out with a spoon!
So this one is a hard decision because I like them both equally for what they do, and that's Miyazaki and Don Bluth. And my favorite Don Bluth movie of all time, which was gifted to me by my good friend Retro Spectrum, is Secret of NIMH. I love this movie. I would hold this up with things like Spirited Away or Mononoke, and nothing screams nostalgia with VHS than a clamshell case in my opinion.
Courage of the heart is very rare. The stone has a power when it's there.
The stone.
Conan the Barbarian is by far one of the best fantasy movies ever made. Bar none. That's my opinion. I'm putting it out there. This is the first time I've ever had a copy of this on VHS, and I saw it a bunch as a kid, way too young, but I didn't process those things. I was obsessed with He-Man, and to me, Arnold was like a live-action He-Man, which is funny because I found out later on, if I'm not mistaken, that He-Man was a result of the fact that they were trying to make toys for this movie, and when they watched it, they're like, there's no way, this is not for kids. This movie just kicks out with a bang. You have the wizard telling you about the world, setting the stage, and then immediately the music comes in and you're seeing a blade being smithed. It's an epic movie, and one of my favorite parts of this whole thing is when Conan tells you what is best in life.
Conan, what is best in life? To crush your enemies, see them driven before you, and to hear the lamentation of their women. That is good. That is good.
Lastly, when it comes to monster flicks, specifically Universal monsters, like Dracula and Frankenstein, you have to watch them on VHS. It's intended that way. I picked these up recently from Monster House Records, and I do plan on completing the collection, and these were some of the first monster scary movies I rented all the time as a kid. So if you're interested in starting a VHS collection but are concerned about how to watch them, you can buy VCRs online or at thrift stores or flea markets. Also, to clean them, you can still buy a VCR Head Cleaner on Amazon Prime. Lastly, a word of the wise. When you go to buy any VHS, just ask whoever's selling them if they've been play tested. Sometimes they're like, yeah, and they're telling the truth. Other times, it's just a gamble. But all in all, it's a fun, cheap hobby. Don't forget that Weekend Warrior is a Super 7 affiliate. They make some of the raddest toys and collectibles out there with their Reaction and Ultimates line, as well as some really cool apparel. Make sure you use the code WEEKENDWARRIOR, all one word, at checkout. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I'm curious if you collect any VHS. If so, what are some of your favorites? Leave those in the comments down below. And if you haven't yet, click that subscribe button as well as the bell to get notified when I drop new content. And until next time, be good.